Hey guys, the MD12 here, and welcome to the first video in a series of videos I'll be doing every 5 movesets. In this series, we will be going over the other things that I didn't go over in the moveset, like stock icons and series icons, stages, music tracks, and more. We'll be going in order of category instead of order of character, because I feel like that would be less confusing and repetitive. Well, anyway, let's get straight into it with stock icons. Now, I'll breeze through these unless I have something to say about them. Like Guardian, for example. Now this one looks kinda lower quality than the rest, because this is actually the very first thing I ever drew on my drawing tablet. You may notice that I simplified the designs of the lights on his face, and that's because I think Smash would actually do something like this if Guardian was in, because his actual design is super complicated. Like, look at this. Next is Greg. Now, there isn't much I have to say about this one, so I'll just move on. Tell me why this is one of the best stock icons I've made. I'm not just saying that because it's the best of the 3. No. I made all stock icons of all future fighters, and this is one of the best. I can't escape the meme. Now is Quill and Reader. I simplified the stock icon to just Quill, because having both her and the Reader would be having too much going on. And finally, the Crystal Gems. I only did Steven for the same reason as Quill. Now it's time for series icons, and I'll have more to say about these. First we have Guardian, and this one is just the basic Zelda series icon, obviously. Next, I'll be grouping Greg and the gems together because they're both from Steven Universe. And there were a lot of choices I could have chose for them, but in the end I went with Rose Quartz's gemstone. At first, I thought, obviously, to make it the star, but we already have 2 star series icons, and adding more would make it too confusing. I also got a suggestion for the diamond emblem, but that didn't feel right to me. Like, imagine if Mario series icon was the Bowser emblem, so I feel like the gemstone is the best option. Finally, we have Moss, and I had a problem coming up with this one because there isn't that much stuff in Moss. I thought of making it the glass, but even though the glass is super important to the story of Moss, it doesn't really appear that much. Also, there's the problem of there not being any image of anything from that game online. Seriously, try to find a picture of the glass, you can't. So in the end, I decided to make it the M from the Moss logo. Now, I know we just had 2 of these back to back, but in the future, I'm going to try my hardest not to make series icons just a letter from the logo, because I feel like that's just a cheap way out. Now we're getting to probably the most interesting section of this video, the stages. First we have Guardian. Originally I had the stage be the bottom of Central Hyrule Tower to parallel the top of the Great Plateau Tower stage. But in the end I decided to make it the dining hall from inside Hyrule Castle. This would have breakable tables that rarely spawn food items from Breath of the Wild on them, which just work as normal food items. There will be some silver enemies walking around in the background, and randomly a moblin will pick up and throw a bokoblin into the foreground, which can hurt opponents. Now for Greg's stage, what else would it be besides the car wash? It would be a walk-off with the car wash in the background. There would be a platform above where the cars enter, and the sign can be knocked over, acting exactly like the drugstore sign from the Onett stage. And again, like the Onett stage, cars will randomly drive by and enter the wash, dealing damage to opponents. Next up we have Gollek's stage. I had it be the first level in the game, K-Rock Castle. This would be the same as that one section in Viola's stage that has you on the castle wall. Quill's stage will have you start in the library. This is a basic walk-off that would have a few slightly elevated platforms as tables. Occasionally you'll enter the book and go to a random level in Moss. You will either go to the Clearing, the Mire Temple, Last Respite, the Abandoned City, or the Castle, each one being more rare to appear in that order. And finally, Steven's Stage. This will be the front of the temple. This again is a basic walk-off that has a platform being the porch of the house with stairs leading up to it, and one really high platform being the hand that has the warp pad on it. Next up, we have the classic routes. Guardian's classic route will be Autonomous Uprising. He fights robots. You fight Samus and Dark Samus, Sonic with the Metal Box item, Mecha Ridley, Mega Man, a giant Mii brawler with the Labo costume, and a giant Rob. And for the boss, you fight Gallium. Greg's classic route will be World Tour. He fights characters who sing or play music. You fight Inkling, Isabelle, Jigglypuff, Mr. Game & Watch, Young and Toon Link, and Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. The boss is Master Hand. Golic's classic route will be On the Go. You fight characters who have mobile games in the order those games were released. You have Sonic, Pikachu, Mario, Marth, Villager, and Dr. Mario. The boss is Rathalos. Quill and Reader's classic route will be twofold. This has you fight characters who are aided by a higher being. You fight Pit and Palutena, Mario and Rosalina, Link and Zelda, Hero, Byleth, and Joker. The boss is Marx. And finally, the Crystal Gems classic route. It will be Make a Change. This will have you fight characters who represent different types of gems. And in the next fight, you fight alongside the last person you fought. You fight a blue Bowser Horde battle to represent Court Soldiers, a Greninja to represent Lapises, a green Mega Man to represent Paradox, a gray DDD to represent Bismuths, a tiny blue Pit with two Ganondorfs to represent an Aquamarine and Topazes, and finally an orange Incineroar to represent Jaspers. The boss will have you fight alongside all previous fighters to fight a giant blue Peach, a giant yellow Robin, and a giant Mewtwo to represent the diamonds. Next up, we have Spirit Boards. Now, these are a bit longer, so bear with me. For Spirit Boards, I limited myself to only one full screen of spirits, so that's 8 spirits for each character. I also made sure to only have one legendary, and always have a legendary on the board. Also, I'm only doing one Spirit Board per game series, so I'm bunching Greg and the Crystal Gems together. Also, I'm not making Spirit Boards for series already represented in Smash, so I'm skipping Guardian. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. Major spoilers for the Steven Universe finale incoming. Please stop watching now if you haven't seen the finale. We good? Everyone who hasn't seen it's gone? Okay, let's get into it. For the Steven Universe Spirit Board, we have Ruby and Sapphire, Jasper, Watermelon Steven, the Cluster, a Laser Light Cannon, Onion, Lion, and the legendary spirit Monster Steven. Ruby and Sapphire would have you fight a red Nest that favors side specials and a blue Lucas that favors neutral specials. Sounds fun, I know. They're a secondary spirit which increases the power of your first attack. The Jasper spirit will have you fight a beefed up orange Incineroar. It's a primary spirit which increases your overall attack power. The Watermelon Steven spirit fight will be a horde battle of tiny Stevens, except the Stevens will be using the alternate moveset where all the gems are poofed, and they can't get them back. This is a secondary spirit which gives very slow healing. The Cluster spirit battle will have you fight a giant red Bayonetta which prefers side smash. This is a primary spirit which increases grab range and throw power. The Laser Light Cannon spirit battle will have you fight a red Rob which prefers neutral specials. This is a primary spirit which increases the power of charge moves. The Onion Spirit battle will have you fight a villager that tries to avoid conflict. This is a timed battle. This is a secondary spirit which lets you start the match with a Mr. Saturn. The Lion Spirit battle will have you fight a Pink Steven who prefers dash attacks. This is a primary spirit which lets you hurt opponents by running into them. And finally, the Monster Steven Spirit battle will have you fight the Pink Steven ult, which doesn't have the gems available. But once you beat Steven, a giant pink Bowser spawns who has the Sudden Final Smash ability. This is a primary spirit which gives you critical health attack up. Next we have the Raid... You guys don't care about the Raid Spirit board. I'll just show you what I wrote down and you can pause the video if you want. I don't feel like writing a section for this. And finally we have the Moss Spirit board. Now, it is almost impossible to find images of the characters from Moss online. The only ones available are Quill and Reader themselves, Argus, Sarfog, and the basic enemy type for some reason. So the rest of these I had to take from the game, which is why they all look terrible. Also, some of the characters didn't have names, so I kinda had to improvise. We have Argus, Forge Screecher, Forge Gunner, Forge Bomber, the Toad, the Root Seer, Forge Mega Gunner, and Sarfog. The Argus fight will have you fight Quill in her Grey ult. She doesn't use any moves which utilize the Reader. This is a primary spirit which increases defense. The Forge Screecher fight will have you fight Quill in her Red ult. She avoids conflict and is also distracted by items. Pokeballs which summon Scizors randomly spawn. This is a secondary spirit which increases melee attack power. The Forge Gunner fight has you fight a Mega Man in the Orange ult. This is a secondary spirit which increases ranged attack power. The Forge Bomber has you fight a tiny green snake. This is a secondary spirit which increases fire and explosion power. The Toad fight has you fight a giant Ivysaur. This is a primary spirit which increases PSI attack power. The Root Seer fight has you fight a Palutena in her green ult. This is a primary spirit which increases magic attack power. The Forge Mega Gunner fight has you fight a giant Samus, a tiny orange Mega Man, a tiny green snake, and a tiny red Quill. This is a primary spirit that increases fire and explosion power. And finally, the Sarfog battle. This has you fighting Quill in her Red ult. She favors neutral specials and has randomly filling smash meter. Also, the floor is lava. This is a primary spirit which gives you greatly increased attack power. Next up is victory themes. This section should be pretty fast. Again, I'm skipping Guardian because it would just be the normal Zelda victory theme. Now the Steven Universe victory theme would be a part of the theme song. The Raid victory theme would be what you hear in all the Raid ads. And finally, the Moss victory theme would be this section of the game's main theme. And because I forgot to do this earlier, now we'll be going over boxing ring titles. Guardian's boxing ring title is Malice-Filled Machine. Greg's is Mr. Universe. A little basic, but I like it. Gollix is Download Raid Today. Just kinda making fun of all of the Raid ads. Quill and Readers is The Guardian and Unlikely Hero. And the Crystal Gems is Always Save the Day. And finally, we have music tracks. Now for music tracks, I limited myself to 3 songs per character. This is to prevent me from just adding an entire soundtrack if there's too many good songs to choose from. And also to force myself to get enough songs when there might not be enough songs to choose from. Also, for more basic rules, no songs already in Smash, obviously, and no fan-made songs. Only original and official songs will be added. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the music. For Guardian, we have Guardian's theme, Molduga Battle, and Master Koga's theme. For Greg, all the songs chosen will be the instrumental version. We have Let Me Drive My Van Into Your Heart, Comet, and Independent Together. Golic was the hardest to find songs for, but I was able to get 3 tracks. We have Bastion theme. No, not Pigstep, the other Bastion. Battle theme. And incidental songs. I don't know if that's the actual name, but that's what it said on YouTube, so I'm rolling with it. For Quill, this was the hardest to only choose 3 for, but I think I got 3 good songs. We have The Clearing, Cinder Skies, and Home to Me.
The dark wood falls before me, with broken bow and blackened leaf.
And finally, for the Crystal Gems, just like Greg, they will all be instrumental. We have the extended theme song, Happily Ever After, and Stronger Than You. If you want to listen to all of these songs in full, I linked in the description a playlist of all of these songs for the fighters that I've made. And I will keep consistently updating this every time I make a new moveset video. So that's it for the video, and I know this was kind of a mess. Please leave a comment with your suggestions on how I can make the next one of these better. Like, should I make it in order of character, or should I keep it with category? Because I feel like doing it in order of character would get repetitive, but maybe that'll be easier to keep up with, I don't know. So please comment your suggestions. Next video will be a normal moveset video again, so look forward to that. I'm actually really excited for this next moveset. So, I hope you all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell to get notified whenever I upload a video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.